Thom Hartmann here with you live from CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, just outside of Washington, D.C., and with me is Curtis Ellis, the Executive Director of the American Jobs Alliance, and notpp.us is the website. Curtis, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us. Let me turn your microphone on. That might help.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
Okay, great. That works a whole lot better. President Obama is negotiating in secret with a bunch of corporations for the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Liberals, conservatives, I think pretty much everybody knows this is going on. The administration has somewhere between bragged and admitted that it's going on.
Yes,
right?
And he actually mentioned it in the State of the Union address,
That's
that he wants to conclude it this year.
Right. So here's the thing that has always baffled me. I've had, I've been doing the show for 9 years, and you've been on the show before. And I remember back in the 60s, the conservatives were hysterical that joining the UN we were giving up some of our sovereignty because we were giving up the right to unilaterally declare war on somebody by treaty, by joining the UN. It has to be approved by the United Nations General Assembly or whatever the council is. With our trade agreements, with NAFTA, GATT, the WTO, we give up our sovereignty. We did this during the Clinton administration. We did this, most favored nation status. I mean, this stuff really started with Nixon, and Reagan did a bunch of it. This is totally bipartisan. And why is it that conservatives have not been hysterical about giving up our economic sovereignty when they are hysterical about giving up our right to unilaterally declare war?
Well, the good news is they are starting to get hysterical about giving up our economic sovereignty. You hear about all the hue and cry about becoming like Europe. The European Union is considered a bureaucratic superstate. And that's exactly what the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement sets up. Another bureaucratic, supranational, transnational superstate that will absolutely integrate our economy with all of these other countries around the world and remove a whole lot of decision-making from the accountability of our elected representatives. Now, why we haven't heard more about this in the past? I'm not a mind reader. I think part of it is the fixation with geopolitical strategy. We needed to keep Japan from going red, so we're going to give them our electronics industry. We need to keep the Philippines from going red, so we're going to give them our textile industry.
I don't think so. I think it's the six wealthiest individuals, maybe it's just five Walmart heirs, own more wealth than the bottom 40% of America, and they're major political donors. And they basically own the Republican Party.
So you're saying you're saying both parties have been bought because it was Bill Clinton who pushed NAFTA.
Absolutely.
And
both
Barack
parties have
Obama
been bought,
is now pushing this.
Both parties have been bought and sold by transnational corporations, and neither party is willing to be the loyal opposition. Up until recently, the people who have been speaking out against this have been either what's considered the crackpot fringe on the right, which was Ross Perot. He was considered a conservative. And he was saying, hey, wait a minute, NAFTA, we're giving up our sovereignty. And the fringe on the left, people like me who say this is nuts. We should be protecting our country. Well, and they say, oh, you're a protectionist. What are you, some kind of FDR guy? And I'm like, yeah.
Well, now we have a movement called the Patriot Movement. And the rank and file people who consider themselves patriots are absolutely up in arms about this. And you raise a very good point. And you talk to the people in the Patriot movement, and they...
Are you talking about these guys who are out in Wyoming with guns?
No. I'm talking about what's commonly referred to as Tea Party. The Tea Party. The rank and file Tea Party. Not the inside the Beltway Dick Armey leadership of the Tea Party.
Yeah, I haven't had I get a lot of Tea Partiers on this show, and they never want to talk about international trade.
Well, you see, it's made to sound boring. It'll put your feet to sleep right up to your knees. This is not trade. This is a weaponized trade agreement.
With these trade agreements, if you own a small business, you can be sued by a corporation in Canada, in China, in Mexico. There was a funeral parlor back in the 90s that got sued and put out of business under NAFTA, and that was, that was 15, 20 years ago.
This is swept under the rug. This goes further, and now that private corporations will be able to bring action against the states, against the United States, in these international tribunals beyond the reach of any of our elected representatives. And furthermore, foreign corporations doing business in the U.S. would have all of their disputes settled by these international panels.
Right.
They would be essentially exempted from EPA regulations, while American-owned businesses would still be subjected to the EPA regulations.
Right.
Look, you can like or dislike the EPA, but what everybody can agree on, let's have one rule for everybody,
right,
and let's settle those disputes in our system of constitutional government.
So here
Don't
we have an issue
to a foreign.
First of all, do you feel the same way
bureaucracy.
about WTO, GATT, NAFTA that you do about TPP?
Absolutely. Ron Paul has spoken about this on the floor
So you and
of the
I are in
House.
complete agreement on this.
That's correct.
Is there one major speaker here at CPAC, one major speaker, where that person and the whole room is listening? You know what I'm talking about by major speakers. Is there going to be one major speaker mentioning this here in these 4 days?
I don't know. I haven't heard it yet.
Then I would guess the answer is no, and which validates my argument that the billionaires own the conservative movement. They own the Tea Party. They own the that conservative basically means owned by billionaires.
It depends on how
you're
you
the
define
outlier.
Tea Party. I would say stay tuned. I would say go to notpp.us and let your elected representatives know that they should not. Congress should not surrender its constitutional authority and give Obama fast-track authority.
No, absolutely.
To sign this treaty.
Are you listening, Tea Partiers? Because there are Tea Partiers who are
I've
listening.
been talking
this
to
is
them
a Tea
for
Party
the
guy.
last 2 days, and they are listening.
Yes.
Louis Gohmert's listening. Ted Yoho's listening. The people are listening. They get it. And they know that John Boehner is going to work hand in glove to hand Obama extra constitutional powers to ram this through.
Right. Fast track basically means it can't be amended. It can't be filibustered.
That's correct.
So it's a take it or leave it, up or down vote. Bang. It gets dropped on your lap. Plus, there's a time limit about the amount of time you have to read the thing. So you get this 3,000-page piece of legislation, and it's like you got... Do you know how much time it is?
90 days.
90 days. Okay,
it's
so
impossible to review. It's impossible to read it even if you had 3 years. Have you ever tried reading this stuff? It's terrible.
Yeah.
No TPP, no TPP.us.
Okay.
Go there. You can send a letter to Congress right from the website.
There you go. Curtis Ellis, the executive director of the American Jobs Alliance, a conservative who's saying what I've been saying for years. Let's stop this insanity. No TPP.us.